Yeah, it's a very interesting question. When I woke up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, 24 February, my sister called me and say war started. I said, it is impossible. I don't believe. My sister saw me switch on TV and look at. After that, I switch on TV and saw Putin, and Putin explained that to start anti-military, anti-Nazistic operation against Ukrainian country and Ukrainians, and it was awful.
Okay, Artem.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast from Studio Digitaal. Today we're gonna do it in English.
Okay, dank u wel for invitation.
We're gonna do it in English because how long are you in Belgium?
Approximately 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah. First, pardon for interruption. Firstly, I lived in French part of Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied French language, but
Tu parles français aussi?
no parle français. Pardon, monsieur.
Okay.
And in Antwerpen, I am approximately 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, half year.
Okay, that's good. And yesterday you had a Dutch exam?
Yeah, it was a very interesting quest for me because Dutch language is a new experience for me. It's not the same, for example, such my mother language, and it is two different family in languages, and it is very difficult to understand your grammatica, and structures of sentences and words. But I try.
And your mother language is Ukraine? Or not?
What? Repeat, please.
What is your mother language?
Ukrainian language, yeah, Ukrainian.
And where do you come from in Ukraine?
I am from a small city, Sumy, that located near Russian border, approximately far from 50 kilometers near Russia border. And that's why I'm here, because it was very dangerous to stay in my native city in February 2022.
Okay, what happened?
Ukrainian military's invasion in our city and go across our city to Kiev, to capital of Ukraine, and to Kharkiv, the second big.
But the Ukrainian army, not the Russian army.
Russian army invasion entered in our city.
Your city, okay.
Yeah, and drive to Kiev.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very dangerous to stay in my city first 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Okay, and why did you choose Belgium?
I was in Belgium in 2019 and 2018, and I know Belgium is a modern social country. I like level of IT technology, of high-tech technology, and I know Belgium is a very, very developed country. And that's why I choose this very interesting multinational country.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're alone? You came alone here?
Firstly, I came with my mother and my sister, but after 9 months, my sister and my mother decided to return in Ukraine because first reason, my sister has a boyfriend, and it was impossible to save normal relationship when you on distance, for example.
Yeah.
My mother has, how it explained in English, post-Sovietic mentality. It is very difficult for old people to integrate in a new environment. That's why my mother said me, Artem, it is impossible for me in my age to earn money on my private building. It is very expensive here, and it is impossible to have a normal life. And my mother decided to return in Ukraine too.
And you decided to stay, or?
Yes, because in Ukraine I don't have anything, and I am young.
Yeah.
And I want to realize myself here, to integrate in Belgian society, maybe help Belgian people, because Belgian people of course support me. And when I will study Dutch and integrate fully in your society, I guess I bring my experience in your society, and maybe share my experience with your experience, and maybe integrate our both experience, and maybe afterward I create some new ideas and share with Belgian people, or Belgian people help me to understand who I am in this country. Because it's very difficult to stay here, because I am migrant.
Yeah.
And I'm new in this country, and at first time it was so discomfort for me to understand who I am, what I want, what I need to do here. And that's why I participate in sprint from Studio Digitaal, because it's a good opportunity for me to understand what I need to do in the future. Because I'm professional accountant in my country, but when war started, I lost my job, and that's why I want to switch on as a professional and try myself in another way, for example. And now it's good possibilities and opportunities to try realize myself in, for example, IT sphere, or other spheres that closed with accountancy, maybe financial, economic sphere. Now I'm looking for a job, and I try to find something interesting for me where I totally realized.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask you later about the whole situation in Ukraine and thing, but now, because now you came to Belgium, and I'm very interested, what are the things that Belgian people do, that the culture differences? That you're like, wow, that's totally different. No, like, what are those things that you said, okay, those are really different culture. There's not like Ukrainian, and I'm trying to getting used to it.
Okay, you don't like a lot of drink vodka? It's a joke. For example, the main difference between Belgian people and Ukrainian people, it is, for example, we are Slavic people. Ukrainians are very open-minded people, and it is total difference in. I don't know how it's say in English. Is it possible to speak in Ukrainian? It's a joke.
Sure.
I mentioned it's totally differences between Belgian people and Ukrainian people, because, for example, in the past, Belgium country had a lot of time to stay a real European country. Ukrainians this time don't have, because now we drive to Euro Union and improve our law, implement European rules in our economy, in our political system. And now, if you compare Belgium and Ukraine, it is, for example, parents and their child. It is a different level of economic, of politics, of...
and who's the parent?
Belgium.
Belgium is okay.
Yeah. It is a European parent, and Ukrainian try to improve, to up European level, and it is the main difference. And for example, in our country, it is not normal when LGBTQ, to create prides. In our country, not popular feministics. It is a lot of rules not protected fully. And of course, it is a very big problem, but step by step, we try to refresh our mentality. We have old mentality.
In a couple of weeks, I'm sitting here with a friend of me, and it's a girl who is really active in the LGBTQ community, and I'm going to interview her as well for this podcast. But yeah, like you say, Belgian people are way more open-minded than Ukrainian or...
No, inverse.
Inverse, okay, because we accept LGBTQ and Ukraine doesn't. But it's like Ukraine is open-minded, but like step by step. That's what you said, or not?
It's only my personal opinion.
Yeah, sure.
When I look around and I see a lot of people such as frozen,
cold,
not open fully, and maybe
we are more closed. We're not gonna say hello or talk to everyone. Yeah, that's typical Belgian. Yes,
a lot of Belgian people everywhere smiling. It's very interesting tradition for me. In Ukraine, it is impossible to see a lot of people on the street, outside, and see smiling people. It's not our tradition. We don't smile, but our smile inside.
Okay.
We have the same situation time to time. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's my own opinion, and I make this conclusion after 1 year stay here.
We smile a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we smile a lot.
For Ukrainian, it's not typically. It's not typically when you across the street and say hi, smiling.
To the driver. Yeah, I always do that.
It's not normal for Ukraine.
Yeah, I always do that. Like if a car waits for me and hey, thank you.
It's interesting. I like this tradition when people look.
But you can't see, or I just always see the reflection of something in the window. I say thank you to someone that's in the car, but I mostly can't see it.
Yeah.
It's just thank you, car. Yeah, but are there different things like food and stuff that I like really?
Oh yes, it's a really problem for me to change my food tradition.
What's Ukrainian food? How does it look like?
We like soup.
Soup?
Okay. Soup, and Ukrainian specific traditional soup called borscht. It is road soup. Wow, it's not for me.
Borsch is Ukrainian soup.
Yeah, it's Ukrainian soup, road soup, with beet. With beet, with potatoes, with...
it's like a food soup. It's like a soup with food in it, like not our regular soup.
Yeah, it's not only soup, it is a combination with first and second dish.
Yeah, because there's also potatoes and stuff in it.
Yeah, okay. And for Belgium, it's normal to eat crème soup.
Do you want to learn a Dutch word? We call that a maaltijd soup.
Yeah, I know, the maaltijd soup, yeah.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, we have a lot of different foods that totally different that I saw in Belgium. It's a lot of first dishes we have in Ukraine, a lot of salads, a lot of, for example, traditional dumplings, and it is different food tradition.
Yeah, what do you like from the Belgian food or don't like?
I don't like frietjes.
You don't like frietjes?
Don't like.
Wow.
Ik moet minder frietjes eten.
Go back.
Yeah.
You don't like frietjes?
Yeah, pardon. In Ukraine, it's not so popular, and you may buy frietjes only in McDonald's or KFC.
But McDonald's in Ukraine is also totally different, no?
I guess no.
Because the McDonald's in Paris, for example, is like different from here.
Really?
Yeah, it's always different because they have like different burgers and stuff also.
Ah.
Yeah.
It tastes different too.
For example, in like the Islamic countries, McDonald's would have like halal burgers.
Halal burgers? What?
Halal burgers.
Halal,
yeah.
I understand.
Or in India, they would have also a totally different burgers with chicken, or I don't know what they eat, but I'm not gonna say things I don't know. But I know it's totally different, and yeah.
But I try fritters in McDonald's here and in Ukraine. When I compare these two fritters, it is the same taste.
Yeah, but not from a frietkraam, eh? From a real fry shop.
Yeah.
You don't like them?
Don't like.
Okay. And chocolate, you don't like our chocolate?
Unfortunately, no. I don't.
Also not.
I don't like sweet food.
You have tried vol au vent.
What's it?
Vol au vent.
Vol au vent?
Vol au vent. How do you explain it? It's like a kind of meat sauce, but with meat in it, with chicken, but meat like it's like a dish, and then mostly you eat it with fries or with potatoes or something. But yeah, that, and we also have stoofvlees.
Stoofvlees.
You know that?
Yeah, vlees it's meat.
Yeah, vlees is meat. Yeah, stoofvlees. You have to try that as well, and that's not like vol au vent, but it's also like a meat sauce. It's like brown and then meat in it. Real stoofvlees, it's called.
I prefer healthy food. It's my lifestyle. I like salads. In Belgium, a lot of kind of salads, and also what else?
There's a good takeaway. I'm not going to make advertisement for them, but there's a good like takeaway that like I'm also like a lot of healthy foods and stuff, but I'm like their takeaway is like you can choose everything they put in the box.
Wow, such a bowl.
Yeah, it's like a poke ball, but it's different. It's better. It's healthier. So you can onions and stuff. Okay, then eggs and chicken and extra chicken and thing and.
Wow, constructor.
Yeah, you can just build your own bowl. I think it's annoying for them if you choose like a custom bowl because then they have to watch. Okay, now this.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it's then you know what's in your food and everything you can eat, and so it's really good. It's not that cheap, but it's good. Waar hebben wij ons nodig?
Ja, ze nemen eigenlijk achter nodig.
Ja, we
hebben om 9:30 gesproken dat we moeten alles allemaal bespreken en wie wat gaat doen.
We zijn even een podcast aan het opnemen. En je bent ons nu aan het onderbreken, we zijn met 20 minuten klaar.
Kun je dat
En hoe lang duurt dat?
Deur, je mag niet zomaar iets storen.
Wow.
Flavian, I'm important, everyone has to look out for me.
Flavian, big boss.
Okay, but yeah, where? I'm lost my conversation. Okay, there's other Belgian dishes, fries, stoofvlees,
In Ukraine, we have a lot of healthy food because, if you know, Ukraine in the past was wheat basket for Europe. It is a very well-known proverb. And Ukrainians supply a lot of grains and products. That's why we have a lot of cheap products. Cheap potatoes, vegetables.
Is it cheaper in Ukraine than here?
In Ukraine, more cheaper.
Yeah.
And it is that's why we have a very diversity kind of foods, healthy foods, and for example, our kitchen closed with Turkey kitchen.
Yeah.
Turkish.
And how was your journey to Belgium?
What?
How was your journey to Belgium?
Journey?
Yeah, your way to Belgium. How was it?
When war started, I left my city and go on the west of Ukraine. And when war started, it was simple to cross border and arrive in Belgium. But after 2 weeks, when war started, all border was closed.
So you went before the war?
No, when war started.
Yeah.
After 6 days after war started.
And then you could get across the border or not?
What?
It was easy to get across the border?
No, it was not easy. I spent approximately 2 days.
Okay.
Because first of all, I tried to left Ukraine across Romanian border. It was impossible. It was a very strict custom. And I tried to cross Ukraine in Polish border.
And then it worked?
Yeah, Polish people on the border was so polite and close eyes on a lot of problem because it was so difficult for men to left Ukraine.
And then you went with the car? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you now here with your car from Ukraine?
Yeah, my car here on Ukrainian plates.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I changed my drive license on Belgian variant.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Belgian government to allow me to have Ukrainian car with Ukrainian registration, with Ukrainian plates, and allow me to drive.
Okay, it's cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. For example, Belgium drive tradition is perfect for me because, for example, imagine when you visit Ukraine and drive on the road by car, it's so stressful will be to you because the main rule in Ukraine, you
go.
Yeah, drive, no rules. Maybe it's a joke, but
yeah, but I've been in the country. Like I lived in Morocco, and there was I had a driver there because, and then his name was Ahmed, and the first time he picked me up from the airport, it was just like driving, and they were on the street. They were like. People walking on it and bicycling on it and other cars from the other side, and he was like fast. He was going fast. I was like, "Is this normal?"
It's totally chaos on the road. Yeah.
And, like, and here it's like voorrang van rechts. You have to let people pass. You have to let people cross the road. It's a stoplight. Okay, it's very direct here. And then there is a.
Yeah, it's called Egyptian style.
Yeah.
I saw the same situation in Egypt. It's totally crazy kind of drive.
Yeah, it's.
But it's their style, maybe.
But there must be more accidents.
Yeah, a lot of.
Yeah, I think. Okay. So yeah, you just drove by car to Belgium. And then you came here, and then how was it when you came to Belgium? What did you need to do?
First of all, when I cross border, I try create road to achieve Belgium. And first of all, first point was stay in Hungary.
Okay.
After that, I drive in Italy. After Italy was France. After France, I stay approximately 2 weeks in a very small city near Valencia in Spain. And after 2 weeks, I left Spain and achieved to Brussels. And after stay 1 day in Brussels in special house for migrants, Belgian government found for us a Belgian family that supported me first 4 months.
Okay.
I lived in a small town, Otigny, in Leuven-de-Noord region.
Otigny.
Yeah, near Brussels. I stayed in Belgian family. They really very, very helped me and supported me.
You're still in contact with them? Or?
Yes. Now they are my best friends. Time to time I visit them, and I have good connection and really relationship with this family.
And where do you live now?
Belgian family?
And now, where do you live now?
In Antwerpen.
In Antwerp.
Yeah, approximately 50 meters from here.
Ah, okay. You have like your own apartment studio.
Yeah, it was a very difficult quest to find apartment here because rent owner don't want to rent apartment for men who don't have a Belgian contract here, without job, without language. Because I don't know Dutch, I have only basic knowledge, and of course my English not so good. Approximately half year ago, it was impossible to create this podcast because my English skills was shit. Pardon.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but Belgium give me all possibilities. For example, to improve my English, to visit the Dutch courses, give me a product, financial support, and help me to develop myself in different ways. And I say thank you, Belgium. Really, I feel really Belgium support.
What is the most difficult part for you to get used to the life in Belgium right now?
For me, difficult it is, of course, languages, borders, of course, prices. It's so high, it's unbelievable to understand this kind of price, because when I compare with Ukraine, it is impossible to understand this level of price. But it's different economies maybe. And I try to understand this level of price and try to alive. And the most difficult for me, of course, don't have friends. I have friends in Oekraïne, my Belgian family, and I try to create new connection here in Antwerpen. But I need more time, of course.
Yeah, sure.
It's not a very fast quest or issue. And it was very difficult to stay here alone, because when my mother and sister returned in Ukraine, I stay alone here. I found apartment. It was difficult to, and I have bad mood first time, depression, and I try to change my emotion, change myself, and try to find first new friends here. And now it's 50-50 for my...
You're a little better now, yeah. You're a little better.
Ben je al aan het genieten van onze podcast? Vergeet dan ook even niet te liken en op subscribe te klikken. Luister je toevallig via Spotify, dan gelieve een review met enkele sterretjes achter te laten. Thanks.
But you had like friends from your Dutch class and stuff, or not?
Yes, I visited Dutch courses in LBC University, and I find new friends there, and we created a real good team. And time to time we have meeting outside, drink coffee, walking around historical center in Antwerpen, and try to support our friends' relationship. And it is very important for us in new society to have friends, really, because it is good for inside psychological consistency.
Yeah, sure. How was I have a different question. How was your daily life before the war? Like your life before the war, how did it look like?
Yeah, of course I had normal life in Ukraine. My day started with get a job. For example, in the middle of the day I had a small rest. For example, I visited gym. or meet in the center of the city with my friends and had small talk, drink coffee.
You didn't eat in the.
Yes, of course. I took.
How long was your
box.
break in the middle of the day? How long was your break?
1
hour.
Yeah.
Oh wow! You went to the gym in an hour, or you go to coffee and eat also in an hour?
Yeah, because my job was in the center of the city. It's not so close near center of the city. And it was very simple to choose or visit a gym, for example, 30 or 40 minutes, or meet with your friends. You need to choose. It is impossible to combine two actions, of course. But after this lunchtime, I returned at job, finished my current tasks, and return at home. After that, maybe have dinner, and after dinner to meet with my colleagues, my friends, or try to relax at home, listen music, watch TV. It was normal life.
Yeah, and
you have the same situation in Belgium, for example.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have any plan.
For exception, and I find it difficult to, in the middle of the day, go to the gym. I train 2 times a day, and then when I'm going in the middle of the gym, I would try to do that, and then eat while I'm working. It would be better because when I'm done training in the morning, I have to do at night, and then it's like a vicious cycle. I have to do it all over again. But yeah, it's interesting that in the middle of the day, I think not a lot of Belgians do that. I think when I'm go like now at 12 o'clock to the gym, it will be not that full.
Yeah, but before 1 hour, minimum 1 hour, you need to eat.
Yeah.
Something not so heavy.
Yeah, and indeed, like 5 o'clock in the evening, 5, the gym is like full. Everyone has done it with their work. It's like full. It's like it's like a little zoo in there.
Yes.
You know what a zoo is? Yeah. Like with animals, it's like a zoo.
Yeah.
it's like and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I understand you because it's this time when I visited gym, it's impossible to find.
But then you can train your legs. Nobody's doing legs. Everyone is doing arms.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like on the mirrors, everyone is posing and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing legs.
Schwarz style.
And I'm like,
Yeah, of course, at the weekend, Ukrainian people visited local lakes or create barbecue to prepare some dishes on a fork.
Yeah, it's cool. We do that now also. Like a couple of nights, like yesterday and the day before, 2 days before, I went in Ghent. There's an open lake situation.
Wow, Ghent, very beautiful city.
And at night, yeah, I live in Ghent, and at night there was there's not that many people there, but it's still like very warm, and it rained, so it was really cool. It's like cozy and stuff. And I have like those a bag that is like water resistant, so I have to wall it up so I can put it also in the water, and then on top of things, so nobody steals my phone and my keys and stuff.
Well,
so I keep it up there, and then I can be in the water and do all those things. So it's very, very cool. Yeah, that's why I like the weather. I don't like it very much because the camera is turned off 4 times because it's too hot. It says, but I think it's very cool. But now I'm also very interested in how do you heard about the war? The first time you heard about the war, of what there was something going on, because I want to talk about the whole situation, because I think a lot of Belgian people, they know there was a war going on between Ukraine and stuff, and they know there's a lot going on, but I think they don't know firsthand how it is to be in a war, or how it is to live there, or what the difficulties are, or what is really going on. Or I think it's hard to imagine, like the first thing you heard, there was something going on. What happened?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. When I woke up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, 24 February, my sister called me and say war started. I said, it is impossible. I don't believe. my sister saw me switch on TV and look at. After that, I switch on TV and saw Putin, and Putin explained that to start anti-military, anti-Nazistic operation against Ukrainian country and Ukrainians. And it was awful. I don't believe that it happens in 21st century. After half day, I heard the first missile attack in our city because the Russian militaries destroyed warehouse, special building, military building in my city, and a lot of militaries go across our city to capital of Ukraine, and Russian militaries want to destroy all military objects in Ukraine and to add Ukraine in Russia Federation territory. It was awful. War changed my life totally, because now I am not the same before war. Now, after stress, depression, and other difficult situations that happens after war, I really stay stronger, and I will remember about it all my life.
And now maybe like a good point of reference, you told me the day life before the war. What was it during the war?
Hela, merci om te luisteren. Even klein intermezzootje tussendoor. Moest je meer van ons willen horen, moest je meer van waar is Studio Digitaal allemaal mee bezig, dan kan dat zeker via @ Studio Digitaal op Instagram, op TikTok en ook hier op YouTube. Moest je ook nog niet geabonneerd zijn, dan kan dat ook. En dan ga ik jullie nu verder laten luisteren naar het volgende deel van de podcast.
After war started, my life changed totally. It was a new experience for me. It's experience not so good, of course, but war totally changed my life and life Ukrainian as a whole. And first of all, nowadays I am really happy to live, because life, it is the main value on the world. And when I saw a lot of died people, when I left Ukraine, of course I saw a lot of Russian militaries or Russian war machines. I understand that your friends, your relatives, your current life, your surround small society around you, it's important, and it is so stupid and awful when nowadays in our modern life we have big problems such as war. It is not normal, and it's really destroyed a lot of lives, a lot of people's lives. And it is impossible to imagine, for example, before, what happens in the future with me. And nowadays, when I compare my life before war and now, it is two different strong scenes, and it is impossible to predict before war what happens.
Yeah, you also told me like the first thing you did was arranging your documents and then decide with your family that are you going to stay in Ukraine, or are you going to leave? And why did you decide to leave?
Yeah, I understand your question. When the war started, I tried to create plan what I need to do, what the next step, I need to stay in Ukraine or I need to move in another region in Ukraine or left Ukraine. And I gathered all my family and a few friends, and we tried to decide what kind of steps we need to implement in this situation. And after 2 weeks, I understand that it is impossible to stay safety in my native city. And I, with my parents, decided to move in the west of Ukraine, and after that across border and arrived in Belgium.
Okay, wow.
It was a very long and difficult and dangerous way because first 2 weeks our city was blocked. Russian militaries blocked city and don't allow anybody to left our city. And I call my friends that live in a small town around my city, and they help me to avoid Russian militaries people and left my city in a safe way. I really happy to have good friends, because it is very important nowadays to have support from not only from your relatives but friends. It's really important part of your life. Now I am really understand this on 100%, because after war I estimate a lot of things in my life. And of course, when I left Ukraine, now I am totally not the same person that I was in the past. And I say thank you God, my friends, Belgian people that supported and support me nowadays. And I make a lot of conclusions, and now I hope to bring my experience to other generation in the future. Maybe I will help somebody, or maybe when I will be very old, I write some book or small article about war and about my situation that totally changed when war started.
Oh, nice. First of all, thank you for coming to the podcast and be so open and tell your story. I think it's very useful for a lot of people. And then, if you could give yourself advice 10 years ago, what would it be?
Very good question. Maybe if I was on 10 years younger, and faced on myself, and I give maybe small advice, you need to be careful with other people, and to keep in your hand, keep in your head that every person in your life, it is a small how it's in English, or no, pardon. It is very difficult to explain.
It's a gift.
Gift.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, because it's very important not to be alone in this life. Because when I left Ukraine, a lot of people to support me, to help me, and to understand my situation. Don't say to me, wow, you left Ukraine, it's not normal, stay in country and protect your country. But a lot of people understand me, and for example, I'm pacifist. I live this life. I want to bring my experience, my happiness, my new ideas in this life, and that's why I don't want to fight, to strike to another people. It's not normal for me. That's why I choose my way. That's why I am here. And a lot of my friends stay in Ukraine now and fight against Russian militaries and understand my situation and support me, and I am support them. And it is the main things to understand other people.
Yeah.
It is the main conclusion.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you too.
You're now participating in the digital sprint. How is it?
It's good opportunity. It's a very good and huge opportunity to me to implement and integrate in your society. I hope this 3 weeks sprint help me to improve my digital skills and to understand what I need to do in the nearest future.
Ah, cool.
Because really I want to be proactive and to find normal and relevant job for me.
And a stable life.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Voor de luisteraars, als je eens ook wilt komen kijken naar Studio Digitaal, if you want to come to Studio Digitaal, like Artem, and you want to see what we can do for you, every Thursday from 3 to 5 we have an open cafe, and it's just here downstairs in the studio in Antwerp. You can socialize, you can play games from 3 to 5 every Thursday. You also are welcome there, by the way. Like after the sprint, like every Thursday we play games and stuff here in the cafe downstairs. Wow. Play games, you can see what can Studio Digitaal do for you. You just can meet people. It's like heel laagdrempelig. It's very easy, just easygoing. You go, you can meet people, you can say hello, and then otherwise do what you have to do on this podcast. We appreciate it if you just share it to one person. Like if you think, I know someone that needs to listen to this podcast, share it to one person through social media. You can add Studio Digitaal, and then it would be a large help. Thank you, and we see you next Thursday. Bye.
Well,